right, today we're going to do our third volume formula, our sixth formula overall. And like our previous 2 days when we looked at volume, in order to find our formula or develop our formula for volume, we're going to use this format. The area of the base times the height. Where here our base was length times width. Here our base was A times B divided by 2. And each of those we just multiplied it by height. Well, for today, we're going to look at our cylinder. So first thing we have to do is determine what our base is. Well, it's a circle. So like our previous days, to develop the formula, we want the area of that base multiplied by height. So again, we need the area of this base, which we already determined is a circle, and multiply it by height. Well, how do you find the area of a circle? R squared times pi. So if we look at our formula for our volume, it's simply r squared times pi times the height. A couple things to point out as a reminder about the formula. First of all, r stands for radius, halfway across the circle. I say that because in a few problems, they will give you the diameter, and you're going to cut that in half. Okay, so make sure you're using radius. Second thing about the formula is the squared, as a reminder, means to take that radius and multiply it by yourself. So some people like the formula to look like such, because radius squared means radius times radius. Although on most of the calculators that you are using or we have, there is an x squared button on the calculator, so you can just push R and hit that and it'll square it for you. That makes it easier. When it comes to pi, you got two choices. You could use 3.14, or again, most of the calculators have a pi button on it, so you may use that symbol also. So if you're careful to make sure you're using the radius and you're squaring it and using pi, fairly straightforward formula. Okay. All right, as what I'd like you to do is to pause the video for a second. Try the following problem. When you're done with this problem, you can restart the video and watch the solution. All right, now that you've had the opportunity to try this problem, again, our formula was r squared times pi times h. Hopefully you recognize our radius is 14, so if this was on the picture, we'd have a radius of 14 and a height of 30. So 14 squared times pi times the height. If you solve that problem, you had 18,463.2, and this, remember, is volume, so we want to label it with cubic feet. Now, if you use the pi button instead of I use 3.14, your answer is going to be really close. It changes slightly, I think like 18,472 or 476 or something like that, but fairly close, but a little difference because of the value of pi. Now, on your paper for your assignment today, it may help to write this volume formula on the top. Because now that you have the volume formula on the top, we can also find the surface area. So in this problem that you see here, if we wanted to know how much water this pool held, that would be our volume. So we're going to calculate r squared times pi times h. And if we want to know how much it would take to buy a new liner for this and to cover the top of the pool, so we wanted all the sides and the bottom and the top, now we're looking for surface area. And as a reminder, that's r plus h times 2 times radius times pi. So again, you're still using the same r, the same h. Careful with the second problem that you actually equal out that first part, that you get the answer to this in parentheses before you double it, and then times r times pi. So I'd like you to pause the video and try those two problems. Okay. All right, the volume for this was about 2,575.1 or 0.2, depending on how you rounded it, and this would be feet cubed. I think if you use the pi button instead, you ended up with 2,576 point something. So relatively close. And the surface area, you need 1,526.0.1 square feet of fabric to put a new liner and cover on. So there's your two answers. Assignment for today is on page 525. This is out of the blue book. So for those in the accelerated class, you'll either have to access the green book on or the blue book online and use the page 525, or download a copy of that worksheet from my worksheet page. So page 525, numbers 3 through 5, numbers 9 through 15. On the assignment, I do want you to find both volume and surface area for each problem.